A nation founded on faith. Now we're divided. We're not as holy as we used to be, but truth still rocks. Light still leads. This is Holy Sorta.
Welcome to Holy Sorta, the independent voice for America. I'm your host, Curtis Hayes, PhD. This episode, we're examining one of the most significant political developments in modern America, the remarkable rise of independent or unaffiliated voters. Let's take a look at the Gallup poll's January 2026 analysis of 2025 data. That data shows that a record 45% of U.S. adults now identify as political independents. That's a lot. With roughly 260 million adults in the United States, that means that approximately 117 million Americans consider themselves independent. That's significantly more than those identifying as Democrats or Republicans, which both sit around 27%. Now, for real-world electoral weight, registration data from the Independent Voter Project shows that unaffiliated voters comprise roughly 30 to 42% of registered voters in states that keep track of that data. They don't all keep track of it. And both sources, however, the Independent Voter Project and the Gallup poll, they both confirm the same clear trend. That trend, millions of Americans are stepping back from the two major parties. Now, who are these IU voters? Demographically, they're strongest among younger Americans, those 18 to 29 years old, where the share often exceeds 50%. They're prominent among college-educated adults and suburban residents. We're also seeing notable growth among Hispanic voters, particularly younger ones. Overall, men are slightly outpacing women in this group. Now, many IU voters lean toward one party or the other, but they refuse the official label. And as we head into the 2026 midterms, these voters could represent the ultimate power brokers in what is a deeply polarized country. So, what's the reason for the surge? Could it be that decades of toxic polarization, endless culture wars, government gridlock, and that growing sense that parties care more about scoring political points than solving real problems has something to do with this trend? Maybe, perhaps. And let's be honest, when the two major political parties make you want to declare independence from both of them, that's a pretty clear signal that the system needs some serious reflection. Now, this shift did not emerge in a vacuum. The founders were deeply skeptical of political parties. James Madison, for his part, warned about the dangers of factions in Federalist number 10. And George Washington, during his farewell address, described the spirit of party as, quote, baneful. He urged Americans to prioritize national unity. Yet political parties formed almost immediately. The first party system featured Federalists versus Democratic Republicans, one party. Later came Democrats versus Whigs, and then the modern Republican Party rose in the 1850s amid the national crisis over slavery. American history is marked by periodic realignments when large segments of the population felt the existing parties no longer represented them. Now, we don't romanticize the past on Holy Sorta. We know parties have always been imperfect, and often they've been power-hungry institutions. But they've also helped channel deep societal conflicts into elections rather than violence. And today's IU voter surge raises a serious question. Are we witnessing another historic realignment? Or are we in the early stages of deeper national fragmentation? From the lens of human nature, this development is both understandable and revealing. We are social creatures wired for belonging and tribal loyalty. Yet we also possess reason, moral intuition, and a strong aversion to hypocrisy and corruption. So when institutions demand blind allegiance or descend into extremes like we see today, a significant portion of people naturally pull back. This isn't mere apathy, it's actually a form of healthy skepticism. And at the same time, our tribal instincts make pure independence difficult. We want to belong. But most independent, unaffiliated voters, they still lean one way or the other. They simply refuse to be fully owned by any party. The growth of independence highlights both the brokenness and the resilience of human nature. We crave integrity. We tire of games. And that tension is profoundly human. And it's playing out in American politics in real time. Biblically, this moment is met with both realism and hope. If we look at Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2, it tells us, when the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. Romans chapter 3, verse 23 keeps us humble. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. This includes every politician, every party operative, and yes, every voter. Finally, Jesus warned in Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, that no one can serve two masters. Therefore, our highest loyalty must remain above any earthly faction. Now, from a secular perspective, thinkers from Madison onward have viewed parties as necessary but dangerous. The IU surge can be seen as a rational democratic correction, citizens refusing to surrender their judgment to failing institutions. Both worldviews converge on a key truth, however. Human systems are imperfect because humans are imperfect. The real question is how we respond, either with cynicism or with intentional growth. So, what does all this mean for America's future? The 2026 midterms will be the critical test. Independent, unaffiliated voters have genuine leverage to demand better governance, less political theater, and more humility from both parties. A stronger nation isn't built by deepening division, rather, it's built when citizens refuse to be taken for granted and manipulated. Here at Holy Sorta, our 5 foundations are more relevant than ever. Number 1, question everything. Number 2, grow intentionally. Number 3, truth still rocks. Number 4, light still leads. And number 5, sometimes faith ain't pretty. And neither are politics. My challenge to you, if you're an IU voter, don't withdraw. Engage with clarity and conviction. Study the issues, vote your principles, and hold every candidate accountable. If you're strongly partisan, ask yourself honestly, am I serving truth or team? I'm Curtis Hayes. Thanks for joining Holy Sorta. Until next time, keep questioning, keep growing, and may light lead the way. Be good.